and that is we should overturn Citizens United, get money out of government, and return to the But the question is a fair question. What are the chances we can overturn Citizens United? Right now, I'll admit it, they don't look good. It's a 5-4 with we worry about holding on to the 4. I get that. But let me make a couple of other points. We don't have to just give up in the meantime. Even under Citizens United, there are a good half-dozen bills that we could pass that would both expose the amount of money that's being spent, and that will help some, a little sunshine as disinfectant, and that would counter some of the effects of the money. So there are a lot of Disclose Act pieces that we could do. In fact, Citizens United, if you read it, presumed in the language that Congress would force these outfits to tell who their donors were, where the money came from. It wasn't that it was all supposed to be secret. That's not a perfect answer, but my point is you can dial down a little bit the effect of money in campaign contributions. Let me make one more point. You're here in Iowa. You have an incredible amount of power as we come in to picking a Democratic candidate for president. And part of it can be about money. You have the power to do this. Let me just be really upfront about this. I don't take any PAC money. None. I don't take any money from federal lobbyists. None. I don't do anything. And I'm not out there sucking up to a bunch of millionaires and billionaires hoping they're going to do a super PAC under Citizens United to help me out. I'm not out there asking for that. You have the power in the Democratic caucuses. You have the power in every one of these meetings over the next year to make sure that every candidate for president says exactly the same thing. That will at least get us started.
All right, and I guess I got the signal that we only had time for one more question, and that was number 604. Did we know where that individual was? Oh,
there's 604.
Right towards the back there.
Mike Wilcox from Elbridge, Iowa. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change came out last fall with a report saying we now have 11 years to keep global warming at 1.5 degrees Celsius. My question is on that you come out in favor of the Green New Deal, which has the potential to create a lot of good jobs. But my question is, what do you see specifically that you would advocate in the Green New Deal? And do you support the resolution entered by Senator Markey and Representative Ocasio-Cortez?
Yes, so thank you very much for the question. Yes, I'm an original co-sponsor. I've been working with Ed Markey, who is terrific on these issues for a long time. It is terrific to see Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez come in and put a tremendous amount of energy on this. So, is it possible to be simultaneously terrified and enormously optimistic? Because that's kind of where I am. I get it on climate change. Actually, let me just start here, because this is kind of a shocking thing to say, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. I believe in science.
Thank you. Thank you.
Science doesn't care whether we believe in it or not. It's going to keep doing what it's doing. So I understand the urgency of this moment. I understand that we are running out of time on climate change. That this is not simply a problem we will hand down to our children and our grandchildren to solve. This is a problem Man, we need to be working right now. All hands on deck. Everybody needs to be working on this. Man. That's the terrifying part, the urgency, how big this threat is. But here is the hopeful part, that you can feel it now. In Congress, it has started to shift. It has started to shift. We're not there yet, we're not all the way there, but it has started to shift. The number of people who have both backed off from the position that there is no problem and who are starting to move over and not just say tepid, well, maybe we do a little, maybe we do a little, maybe we do a little, who are starting to move. Now, why doesn't it happen? This is the question you should ask yourself. Do you ever ask yourself, like, are you the only one reading about what's happening to the oceans? Are you the only one reading about the forest fires? Are you the only one reading about the giant hurricanes? And the answer is no. Everybody's reading about this stuff. So why weren't we the world leaders a decade ago? 15 years ago, why weren't we totally on top of this? And the answer is because the folks with money in the oil industry, in the carbon-based industries, they spread that money in Washington. And they bought and paid for just enough experts to provide cover. Yeah, well, you know, some scientists, yes, and maybe yes, maybe no. Well, they just kept doing what they wanted to do. Well, they just kept burning and drilling and making their profits. And that's what's fundamentally broken in Washington. It's how these two questions, the Citizens United question, which is basically just a money in Washington question, ties up to the climate problem. Our biggest problem in Washington right now is political. It's getting people in Washington, in Congress, in the White House, to turn loose of an industry that is going to wreck our earth if we keep taking their money and doing what they want. It must stop.
Speaking the truth.
But this is why I said I'm hopeful. We've got new energy in this. We've got new blood in this. We've got new ideas in this. No one is saying there's a single silver bullet and that's going to fix the whole problem. What's happening is people are coming up with lots of pieces. We could help do this part. We could better insulate. Am I right? Am I right? We could better insulate. Kate will give me the data on this. If we actually adequately insulated, the amount of energy we could save. We need distributed generation. We need a new power grid. We need better energy storage. We need better biofuels. We need lots of things that will help our planet survive and help us survive economically at the same time. So we can do this.